Hello! My name is Second1814, and I just get back from seeing Hereditary. Yes, newest horror movie from A24 Studios. Holy shit. Wow. Eh, before I get into this when I was reading about this and the hype, I remember one article online saying that this movie is a movie that will mess you up. They were right. This is a movie that is going to mess with your mind. This is a movie that is not going to let you forget it. This movie will stay with you. If you. Woo boy. So yeah. So getting right into it. Now, well, I wouldn't exactly call this movie scary per se. Hey, this movie, the words I would more use to describe this movie are unsettling, disturbing, and intense. Scary, maybe not, but definitely intense. Yeah, and my heart was seriously going in this movie. I don't know what it is, but this movie just has that feel to it where it just doesn't let you go. So basically, this movie is in a nutshell, or if you want a quick plot, it's essentially about about a woman dealing with the loss of her mother, and then also dealing with the evil that her mother left behind. Woo! And it gets intense. And so I want to just say right off the bat that this movie is one of the most well-acted movies ever. It absolutely it demonstrates the pain of loss, and it demonstrates how loss can tear a family apart, especially the loss of a close family member. I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. So essentially, this woman, the main character Annie, played by Toni Collette, she's basically dealing with the loss of her mother, who recently passed away, and basically, her mother was essentially involved in evil. Well, maybe evil, but yeah, her mother was involved in some dark, uh, dark stuff, and that basically comes back to haunt this family, and we see it all over, and how. And we see that basically they have a hard time coping. Now, as far as loss is definitely one of the main themes of this movie, but also guilt, and it's displayed very early on when there's a particularly shocking scene. And this is a scene and I am going to describe this scene in detail, so if you don't want to hear about this, might want to skip ahead or click away. So yeah, so essentially early on in this movie, there's a scene. It's the older son, Peter, decides to go to a high school party, but he takes his little sister Charlie along. Now, unfortunately, Charlie, he turns out, has an allergy to nuts, and at this party, he basically tries to score with the hot girl by offering her weed. So they go up to bedroom to smoke weed, and he leaves his sister there. And his sister gets a piece of chocolate cake, but turns out this cake has nuts in it. And so she starts having an allergic reaction, and he tries to take her to the hospital, and they're speeding down the road. But she tries to lean out because her throat's closing up. She tries to lean out the window to get some fresh air. And then all of a sudden there's something in the road. Peter swerves, and BAM! Telephone pole. And, well, off with her head. And we don't see that immediately. But yeah. Gosh, it literally decapitates her. And we see him drive home and go to bed ahead and basically lie there with the face of shock on it. And then in the morning, we hear the screams to the mother who discovers the daughter. So, hotter. And, well, yeah. And then we cut to the picture of the daughter's head crawled all over by ants. It's after it was decapitated. And I'm sorry, but this is essentially a pivotal scene in the movie. And I'm sorry if I spoiled or if I freaked you out, but it's a pivotal scene because it does set up for an important point of the for the rest of the movie. So yeah, and that's one of the many scenes in this movie that is going to stay with you long after the credits roll. And there's quite a lot of other scenes, and I won't spoil them all here. But let's get back into discussing the theme. So, like I said, some of the main themes in this movie are pain of loss and guilt. And essentially, throughout the movie, we basically see how the pain of losing both the grandmother and the daughter, essentially, he begins to take its toll on the family, especially the son. So yeah. Now I will say that, like I said, this movie is very well acted. Every time, you believe every second of how this movie is acting, of how this sorry, I lost my train of thought. But as I was about to say, you see every point where it's shown that this family is essentially falling apart, or it is absolutely believable. From arguments to the son Bateman still dealing with the guilt of his sister's death, to the father basically thinking that the mother is crazy. A lot of stuff. Just a lot. And I hate saying that because it's really all I can really say without spoiling too much. But so anyway, basically this movie. One of the other things about this movie is, yes, it's a supernatural film, and I have to give praise to the director for not going overboard with CGI. There is a very minuscule amount of CGI. You don't see any ghosts or goblins or goblins. You don't see any 3D zombies or anything shit like that. You don't see that in this movie. The CG effects, I can't. It's a little hard to explain, but initially, well, no, I can't really explain here. You kind of have to see the movie. So, anyways, yeah, I have to give very much praise to Hayes on how they do with the effects in this movie. They are very good, and because of, like I said, they're not CGI. It just makes it all seem all more realistic, and it will stick with you. It's not you're not gonna see any CGI glowing eye a phantom here that's gonna jump out at you. But you know, there are some very good practical effects here. Here and oh boy, it is. It's just wow. Oh, now yes. So, oh, no, no. Ugh. Sorry about that. Lost my train of thought again. But anyway, no ghosts. This is a movie about basically how essentially an evil that has essentially been inherited by these people. So now I will say, hey, one thing. Some people may be a little put off by the final scene. I won't spoil it here. But there is the final scene might put you off a little bit, but I mean, for me, it didn't. It didn't. And honestly, yeah, I don't think it should because, like I said, this movie it will mess you up, and this movie is going to stay with you for a long time. And so, excuse me. Alrighty. So, oh. No, well, like I want, we can. Sorry, losing my train of thought here. I just want to go back, just to back and just talk about the actors. And like I said earlier, this movie is excellently acted, and I believe every single one of the actors, from the mother, to the son, to the dad, and heck, I even believe the daughter. Uh, during the anaphylaxis attack. And then the other people, like the friend of the grandmother. Yeah. Ah. Ah. And I will say, like I said, the mother, Toni Collette, that I think her name is she is she he does an excellent job of playing the part of a grieving her having lost both her mother and her daughter, or their daughter, they're so close to each other. The son, and he does an excellent job. Excuse me, he does an excellent job of playing the son, who basically feels guilt over his sister's death. See it in a lot, and we just see it all over the place. The father, who basically thinks the mother is crazy. And how he basically he thinks that his wife is sick, and that he's basically concerned for his son. The and the grandmother's friend, who essentially lures the mother, lures and baits the mother into essentially, I guess you could say, opening her home to dark forces. And of course, and everybody else. I believe every single second of it. Every second of this movie, every actor in this movie was 100% believable, and I have to give credit for that. I don't. It was. So there's no over the top acted. There's no oh son Hun being so guilty that he's basically he's just crying and mourning, right, and acting over the top. There's no over the top dad over the top playing typical father, a skeptical father. There's none of that. Every actor is believable. Well, like I said, from the fight, from the from the scene, from the dinner fight scene, into Ooh, the seance. Yes, there's a seance. And everything else. This movie was awesome. The movie was awesomely acted. And I know that's kind of an odd word to use, but man, this movie was great. And now back to the horror part. Like I said, this movie wasn't so much scary as it was intense, unsettling, and disturbing. And the imagery and a lot of the scenes in this movie, it will stay with you. It will stay with you after the credits roll. This is a movie that is seriously going to mess you up. It is going to screw with your head. And so that's basically Hereditary. My final rating for this movie is an 8 out of 10. And the ending might put some people off. I know it didn't for me, but yes, 8 out of 10. And would I recommend going to see this movie? And this is kind of where I have to insert a warning, a slight warning into this video. And I'm going to put the same warning here I put before I described that one pivotal scene earlier. Or if you are somebody who has ever experienced the pain of loss, whether it be the loss of a loved one, or I should say, if you have anyone who has ever experienced the pain of losing a loved one, whether it be a sibling, or if you're a parent and you've lost a child in an accident, or if you're or if you're a parent who's ever gone through intense pain of loss before, you may want to consider sitting this one out. This one may affect your sanity. And now, as far as everybody else, I'd definitely say go see this movie. It is definitely an instant classic. And so there you have it. Hereditary, 8 out of 10. And with the warning, go see it, but heed my warning. And well, that about wraps up this video. My name is Segment814. Thank you so much for watching. And I will always be at your back. See you next time.